It's time to make a change. Welcome to Strong for Life Live. This is Coach Josh Wood down in Hobart, Tasmania. It is the 25th of July. Must be July. 25th of July. Tuesday afternoon. 2 in the afternoon. The time that we usually do this. Strong for Life Live, if you're tuning in for the first time, is the live stream podcast from the Become Strong for Life Facebook group, which is a community all about people on the various stages of their health and fitness journeys, but everyone in there is working on becoming strong for life. It's about that longevity of training. It's about making sure your life is getting better with your fitness and your health improvements, because that's where we apply it. That's what it's all about. So let's get started. This week, we're going to talk about changes, but let's talk about announcements first. Always announcements. Not much. We're running the Lean for Life 2023 Weight Loss Challenge. We are finishing up our third week, and pretty consistently we're seeing about a kilo of weight loss or a centimeter of waist loss. So that's shrinkage around the waist. Across the board for most people, except for those that aren't actually in it for weight loss. Now, how about that? We actually have a few people, a couple ladies, who are there not to lose weight, but to use the systems to get stronger and gain muscle. And when they joined up, they're like, I don't actually want to lose weight. I actually just want to get stronger. I was like, okay, great. That is a great goal. I'm totally down with that. I want to help. And so we're seeing strength gain across the board as well. And that's usually the first thing I see when working with new clients. Strength goes up first. It takes a while to change the shape of your body, but because of the type of adaptation that strength is, you get strong quickly. Much quicker than most people expect, especially if you're focusing on your recovery and you're getting good sleep and you're eating well. And that's an awesome thing to see. Strength gains improve so many aspects of your life. If you are not worried about your weight, whether trying to get bigger or smaller, you should be worried about your strength. You don't need to be a powerlifter or a strongman. You don't have to go for multi-body weight deadlifts to see improvements in your life by getting stronger. So one of the things I had chatted about, must have been yesterday, on Threads, the Twitter knockoff, was I said everybody should be able to do a push-up. Doesn't matter who you are, you should be able to do some form of push-up, and you can work yourself to a push-up from the ground. And so I want to shout out to my client, Mr. Richard, who is just finishing his initial 90 days, and we went from barely being able to do maybe one push-up, if we're being generous, to repping out a solid 10 from the ground, along with, 4 or 5 kilos weight loss. I can't remember without looking. Anyway, push-ups. So that's a really powerful thing, and it always makes people super stoked to knock out their first push-up. So if you are having difficulty doing push-ups, shoot me a message, and I will give you some free pointers. You can hit me up here on the Become Strong for Life Facebook group. You can hit me up on my Facebook page, Coach Josh Wood. Instagram, Coach Josh Wood. YouTube, Coach Josh Wood. Twitter, Coach Josh Wood. Hit me up. I am happy to give you some free tips based on where you're at in your push-up journey. But that's a great challenge if you haven't undertaken that yet. I also want to shout out to Team Shawnee. So I've got two coaches helping run the Lean for Life Challenge. We got Gab and Shawnee. And Shawnee this week has come out and let everyone know that the folks working with him directly have a perfect compliance rate. That's right. They've done all of their workouts, logged all of their food, done all of their 10,000 steps a day. That's phenomenal. That's why each of them are down basically a kilo a week. So really, really cool stuff to see. You put in the work, you get the results, especially if you're doing the right work in the right direction. So that's it for announcements. Just progress for those folks in the challenge, and that's always awesome to see. That's what it's all about. So let's chat about what's going on this week. I started off saying, hey, you need to make a change, or it's time to make a change. And that's because we're talking about achievements and changes and progress. And so this week, our conversation in the group was about what aspect of your health and fitness, or your health and fitness journey, are you most proud of achieving? And there's some really cool stuff there. Some folks who are basically trying to age backwards, getting into the game a little bit later in life. People who, well, really, the big thing they're all proud of is that they made the change. Sometimes they have a strength target that they're very happy with, and they're like, wow, I'm so glad I've achieved hitting X weight, or being able to do bench press or push-ups or whatever it is. But the number one thing people are proud of in this poll is that they actually did something, that they actually made a change. Nobody is like, wow, I really wish I stayed on the couch. Wow, I wish I never went to the gym. Man, I sure wish I still ate like crap. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. And one of the biggest things I'm seeing, the change that most people are so proud of having undertaken, is food. Creating a different and more productive relationship with their diet, with what they're eating. But that's also what most people are finding most challenging. And that's understandable. Food is tough. Food is one of those things that makes or breaks any sort of physique change undertaking. And so whether you're trying to gain weight, or you're trying to lose weight, or gain muscle, lose fat, food is one of those essentials. You can't ignore it. And if you really, 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 really want to make those changes, you have to accept that you're going to have to change how you eat. Now, I never tell people they can't eat certain things. I get a lot of folks that come in and they're like, listen, I really want to make these changes, but I can't give up this. Okay, well, first of all, if a food has that kind of power over you, you might need to analyze that. But I get it. Because there's things I don't want to give up either. So we got to look at that. Well, what are you willing to do for these things? And food's a tough one because it's such an integral part of the human existence. It's part of social interactions. It's part of how we self-medicate, how we feel good, how we manage stress. It's powerful stuff. And changing our relationship to it is incredibly hard. But you have to do it. And I never tell people that they can't have food. They can't have certain foods. You have to cut out this. I always say, you can have whatever you want. But you cannot have it whenever you want. And that is the secret to making your progress. Especially food's your problem. It's like people are like, oh, say it's donuts. I'm not ready to change the fact that I eat donuts. It's like, okay, how many donuts do you need? How many donuts can you eat? How many do you need to eat? How many until you feel like shit? How often? These are important questions. And I had a conversation with a guy recently who was looking at starting to track calories for the first time. Tracking calories, being mindful of macros, because he wanted to lose that extra 10 pounds. He's done good on his own. He's done a lot of good work, and he's lost a lot of weight, and he's very active. But his foods are the thing holding him back. And so he's strict 5 days a week, but he's like, Saturday night, I go out with the family. We go out for wings and pizza. I'm allowing like an extra 1,000 calories. It's like, okay, so if you're in a 500 calorie deficit a day, let's say, that extra 1,000 calories means you've just basically stayed in the same place for 2 of those days. plus the Saturday. So 3 days a week, you're going nowhere and you're trying to fight it with 4 days a week. That's a close margin. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, I know this is important to you. I know that family ties and the social outings is important. And it's a way to relieve stress and it's tradition. And I love wings. I love buffalo wings. Buffalo wings are where it's at. Pizza's pretty good. Every once in a while I'll eat some pizza, but I'm not overly big on pizza. There's some good pizza out there, though. Don't hate me, pizza lovers. As I know it's important to you, but let me ask you a question. How many wings and how much pizza do you have to eat for it to be considered a social engagement? How much pizza, how many wings do you have to eat for it to be considered family time? Like, why are you allowing that much holding you back? And the excuse is that it's family time. It's a social thing. And he's like, well, I'm not giving it up because this is my treat once a week. And it's like, okay, once a week. Once a week, we can call that a treat. It's family, it's social, great. And I was like, okay, well, how much do you normally overeat? He's like, well, if I stay within my normal calories, I only get like 3 wings and a slice of pizza. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not very fun. And so he's like, it's this much over my calorie allotment to have more normally what I want. So that's why I allow this amount. It's like, okay, but you don't eat like that the rest of the week. So why don't you shave 100 calories off a day? A slice of bread. One less slice of bread a day, 6 days a week, gives you 600 extra calories on that day. He's like, oh, yeah, I could do that. It's like, I know you can. Anybody could do it, as long as they see the value in it. As long as you're not just doing what I say, and you're doing it because you understand your why. And that's a conversation we've had many times. And that conversation is something you can have with yourself, because everyone says it's social. Everyone's letting food ruin their progress under the guise of treats. I'm treating myself. I deserve this. I made it through work today. I have to eat the box of Tim Tams. Or stress relief. Oh, it's just been so much going on. I have to drink the 4 glasses of wine. Or it's social. I went to a party on the weekend and they had all this garbage and I had to eat it. Really? And one thing I was talking to a client about this week as well was birthday parties come up. You can totally account for them. Don't even worry about it. You're not having birthday parties every weekend. No stress. Enjoy yourself. Or account for it during the week and preload. So some of you folks out there may have at once had a young person social life where you went out to bars and clubs and active party situations. And a lot of folks would pre-drink to save money out at the bars. What I suggested is pre-feed before the birthday party. Get your protein in an hour or so before the party. Go to the party. You're not going to be as hungry. You're not going to want as much garbage. And then at least you've hit your nutrition requirements for the day. Not your limits, but your requirements. And either way, it's more of a win-win situation. And then when you go to the party in Australia, every party's got sausages. Like barbecue sausages. Okay. Eat 2 sausages and then go after the cake and then go after the treats. And I think in general, that system, either the balancing throughout the week before the social engagement, the understanding of the food isn't the social engagement. You don't need to eat an entire pizza to be social. And then pre-feeding before the garbage buffet. Those systems will really, really help you succeed. And so those of you that are out there that are on the fence about like, oh, I don't want to make these changes, think about it. Think about the cost of not making changes. If you're in the group, folks like Greg and Ed who are in their 50s and their 60s and who are always like, they're kicking goals. They're kicking ass. But anybody, gosh, even guys like me in their 30s, we go back and go, God, I wish I would have figured this out earlier. Don't get to that point. Learn from the people who are coming into the game late and saying, man, I wish I did this earlier. No one regrets making the change. Everyone who comes to it late regrets not getting onto it earlier. As I talked about last week, there are probably reasons why you haven't done it yet, and some of them may be very valid. But ultimately, you got to run out of excuses, or you got to accept the fact that your wishes, oh, I wish I could look this way, I wish I could perform this way, I wish I could do this thing. The wishes aren't worth anything. You need a why, and you need a plan, and you need the balls to get up and just start making the changes. Because the information's out there. There's tons of information on the internet. And most of it's freely available. And if you need help deciding which direction to go in, you know where to find me. So if you're not in the Become Strong for Life Facebook group, join in. It's on Facebook. That's why it's a Facebook group. You can look it up, or you can ask me and I'll send you a link. But come in and read the stories. Read the stories of the people and what they're proud of and the changes they've seen and what's been important to them, and learn those lessons. This is one of the things that I am very good at. I'm going to toot my own horn here. Be the tall poppy, saying I'm actually good at something. And that thing is learning from other people's mistakes. I take those lessons on board because I listen to people every single day, dozens of people every day telling me the stories and trying to figure out what we could have done better. And then I take their stories and I go, I should not also do this thing. I learn those lessons from other people so I don't have to learn as many myself. Although there's still plenty of lessons to learn. So if you need help getting on the right track, hit me up. If starting on that right track is learning push-ups, hit me up, or any of the team through any of our social channels. You can find the whole team on Strong for Life Online Coaching on Instagram. Gab, Shawnee, Abby, myself. There is a new website, strongforlife.online. Still working on it. It's not 100%. That's why it's not in the early announcements, but there's some resources there. But get in touch. We're happy to provide information. Well, I think we covered some good stuff today, and there's been some good shout outs and hopefully enough information to get people moving in the right direction. And if you're still on the fence, you know how to reach us. So folks, until next week, just keep working, keep trying, and every day you're going to become stronger for life.